Hey y'all, great afternoon. It is Joy. I am coming live. I just got off of Coach Stormy's live where she finished up reading the 9 Laws of Success. I had this book on Kindle and I just got the actual physical book a couple of days ago. So just the last 2 days, I actually had the physical book in my hand to read. My Kindle app is on my phone, so I wasn't able to participate in actually reading time. And so I wanted to go back and read from the beginning because I realized the value now of having the actual book in your hand and reading it. And we did it with a community of like 1,000 people every single day. And so, hey there, I wanted, because my goal for this week is to spend at least 30 minutes with a physical book in my hand reading. And so since we finished up with her today, I want to go back from the beginning and read the 9 Laws of Success. So if you've never heard of this, I did get the Kindle version on my phone. And then we ordered this hard copy from Amazon. So, and it's by Coach Stormy Wellington. So introduction. One of the most common questions I'm asked is, Stormy, what is the secret to your success? I always find that to be an interesting question because I've lived my life like an open book. Anything I know, anything I learn, I always want to share. However, the curious part of that question to me is putting secret and success in the same sentence. I believe there are no secrets to success because success always leaves clues. That is important enough for me to repeat. Success leaves clues. People who are successful often share the same testimonies and advice about how they achieved their success. They share their experiences on the importance of discipline, time management, visualization, and commitment to their goals. Those are a few clues to success. However, when I'm asked that question, I understand what people mean. People want to know if there is a single path that can be followed, one road that will lead them straight to success. And my answer to that is yes. If you practice the principles, you can participate in the promise. Stormy Wellington. With my own life, I've discovered that there is a path, and along that path, I've identified the clues. Many of you know my story. While many motivational speakers will tell you they were born to win, I was born to fail. Hey, Viva. In fact, my mother tried to abort me, but God and my Father intervened. And I'm here only because of that. That was a sign that I was a survivor. And at first, that was all I did. I survived my mother doing what she had to do to take care of my siblings and me, which meant that often my brothers and I were left alone, and I didn't have a lot of direction. Often, I was left to fend for myself. From a young age, I was a hustler, finding a way to make it happen. When I was 13, I was in school by day and worked in a strip club by night. So it was no surprise when I dropped out of high school at the age of 15 after becoming pregnant. I didn't have a high school diploma. I did get my GED, though that's another story. I didn't have a college degree, and I didn't have any kind of what people in this country call formal education or training. And you guys, I read this book back in October, and this is when I really connected with Stormy because, like her, I had a child as a teenager. I was 15 when I was pregnant, 16 when I had him, and I went through a lot of difficulties. And we don't share the exact same testimony, but I can see myself in her testimony. And so that's what helped me to connect to her in this book and learning her story. That's what led me to joining the company Total Life Changes under her team. So I'm going to continue. However, While I didn't have degrees, what I had was a heart filled with desire and determination that I knew would get me to the top. From the time I was a little girl, I knew I was greater than my circumstances. I knew I would do great things when given the opportunity. And notice I said when and not if, because I expected the opportunity to present itself to me. Along the way, I had relative success as an entrepreneur. I owned a couple of boutiques and other businesses, but finally, when I wanted to make a major change in my life, I moved. In 2005, with just $135 in my pocket, I relocated from Florida to Atlanta without a clue as to what I was going to do when I got to Georgia. But I had a heart filled with desire and lots of faith. I just knew something good was going to happen to me. I believed that down to my soul. It turned out that was all I needed, because within a year of arriving in the Peach State, I had earned my first million. I did it through network marketing. Success usually comes to those who are too busy to be looking for it. Henry David Thoreau. I love network marketing because it encompasses all the things you need to be successful. To make it to the top, success can only be achieved if you help others do the same. My success came from networking with hundreds of people and coaching and teaching them everything I've learned about how to succeed. And that is so true. You cannot make it to the top on your own in network marketing. Really, that's how life should be. Success should never be about just you. It should be about how many lives you can change. And because I understood, accepted, loved, and worked that concept, I became successful. Inside of that structure of network marketing, I thrived, earning 5 figures every month over the next several years. What was best was that I was able to help over 1,000 people who were in my total organization. That was my greatest achievement in my mind. The number of people I was able to help change their lives. Never give in except to convictions of honor and good sense. Winston Churchill. I was proud of my accomplishments in this area of helping so many people because what I tried to do was just be an example. I wanted to attract people who believed and who would model me. That was what happened. So many people on my team modeled my success and were able to achieve amazing results. Yes, I believe that you can model success. You can emulate and practice what you see from a successful person. You can watch someone and basically copy, some would say be a copycat, and get the results you want. Remember, it's not always what's thought, it's what's caught. Yes, Viva, I love helping others succeed. It's amazing. So that was a good time for me and my team. Then something happened to me, which is not an unusual occurrence for successful people. There are peaks, but then there will be valleys. It's just a part of the cycle of life, but I wasn't prepared for it. In 2009, I was at the height of my financial success, but then my money began to go backwards. Every month, my income declined until my life was totally hectic. It got to the point where I had to dig into my savings. It's a good thing that I had that in order to cover basic expenses. Then the tragedy of all tragedies hit me. In 2011, my mother passed away while I held her hand. For the first few months after her death, I was able to mask my grief by working. That's all I did. I worked and told everyone that I was fine. But you know the saying that you can run, but you can't hide? Well, it's true. Because while I tried to run from the pain, I couldn't hide from it. All I could do was cover it up for a period of time. The reality was that my mom's death affected me tremendously, but it was a while before I realized it. A while before I finally woke up broken and broke. I was newly married. Yes, I got married while I was grieving, and pregnant when I found myself in the desert financially and emotionally. It was hard for me to enjoy that time of my life that should have been a celebration. Instead, life became so challenging that having food was an issue. Having the lights on was an issue. Having gas in the car was an issue. When I say that I was heading to the rock bottom part of the valley, I was. I've definitely been at the rock valley, at the bottom of the valley, so I understand. When you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful. Eric Thomas. Fast forward a few months and my relationship was in breakdown mode. My bank account was completely busted. My stress level was so high that it sent me into a depression. However, even in that mental state, I did not sit around and wait for opportunities to happen. I sought to dig myself out of that valley by creating my own opportunities. For a while, I looked into selling insurance and I held success workshops that gave me a little breathing room. Even in my desert, I kept my eyes open. And what happens to people who are focused on success is that opportunities will always once again present itself. Let me say that again. Even in my desert, I kept my eyes open. And what happens to people who are focused on success is that opportunity will once again present itself. That's what happened. Opportunity once again presented itself to me. And although I had some work to do on myself before it could happen, I was prepared. And I believe that when preparedness meets opportunity, success happens. So when the next network marketing opportunity came to me, I was on my way to healing in every way, and I went to work. I built my business back brick by brick, putting in the time, reconnecting with people, making phone calls, networking, holding meetings. I worked on myself, staying in a good place, speaking my daily mantra and affirmations, reading a chapter of Proverbs every day, keeping myself in a positive place. And when I read this book, I began reading Proverbs every day in the morning until I made it all the way through. It was an amazing practice. But definitely keeping yourself in a good place and working on yourself every single day is so hugely important. I was driven. I believe that people move from inspiration to desperation. And at that point in my life, I was truly desperate to rise up. I didn't know much about this new company, but I was ignorance on fire. Yes, I had been mentored by some amazing people up to this point. But where I was at that time, feeling like I was climbing out of the ashes, I was desperate. And my subconscious was like a crazy lady propelling me forward. Yes, Viva, opportunities will present itself. It took a consistent commitment of about 8 months, but once again, I was back on top, having used all of the success tools that I knew about before and implementing a few more that I learned during this darkest time of my life. The greatest lesson inside of my story is that a fall doesn't mean the end. I'm going to say that again. The greatest lesson inside of my story is that a fall doesn't mean the end, right? We fall down, but we definitely get up. That's my own words. A fall doesn't mean the end. If you can look up, you can get up. Once you get up, you can climb. You can climb using the secrets of success, the clues that have been left by others, the 9 laws that propelled me back to the top. The 9 laws of success are the tools that I've learned to use, and now I want to share with you. There are no secrets to success, just lessons learned, lessons shared, and experiences gained. The secret of success is learning how to use pain and pleasure instead of having pain and pleasure use you. If you do that, you're in control of your life. If you don't, life controls you. Tony Robbins. And that's the end of the introduction. So I will come back and read chapter 1. Probably do it tomorrow. This is just going to be my accountability for reading through the book. I want to actually read a physical book because I understood how much more important it was to read a physical book versus just listening to Audible, which is what I normally do all the time. But I got so much out of the read with Coach Stormy. I'm going to use coming live as accountability for me getting my actual reading in. So tomorrow, I'll come back with the 7 pillars in chapter 1 and read here again. So you guys have an amazing rest of your day. Thank you, Viva, for hanging out with me. And yes, where focus goes, energy flows, opportunities will present itself again. You're welcome. I love you.